The quantum processors in the Singapore Cybersecurity Command hummed quietly as Sarah Chen stared at her holoscreen, her eyes narrowing at the anomaly she'd detected. After 15 years of peaceful contact with the Alfarian Empire, the irregularities in Earth's defense grid shouldn't have existed. Yet there they were, microscopic variations in the quantum encryption protocols, so subtle that only someone with her unique pattern recognition algorithms would notice them. Dr. Chen, the Council representatives are requesting the weekly security update, her AI assistant announced, its voice echoing through her private lab. Tell them it'll be delayed by an hour, Sarah replied, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. The patterns were becoming clearer now. Someone had been systematically introducing minute changes to Earth's defensive systems for months, perhaps years. But why hadn't the Alfarian security experts assigned to help upgrade Earth's defenses noticed? Unless they were the ones responsible. Sarah's heart raced as she dug deeper into the code. The Alfarians had arrived on Earth in 2157, offering humanity membership in the Galactic Council. They'd seemed benevolent, sharing technological advances in exchange for cultural exchange and trade agreements. Their crystalline ships had become a common sight in Earth's orbit, their elegant spires glinting in the sunlight. A soft chime interrupted her concentration. Dr. Chen, Admiral Rodriguez is requesting immediate access. Sarah hesitated only for a moment before authorizing entry. The Admiral's weathered face appeared in her doorway, his dark eyes scanning the room before settling on her. Tell me you haven't transmitted the security update yet. I was just about to delay it, Sarah responded, turning her screen toward him. Take a look at this. Rodriguez studied the data, his military composure cracking slightly as understanding dawned. They've compromised our entire defense network. Not just compromised, Sarah corrected, pulling up additional layers of data. They've been redesigning it, piece by piece. The quantum gates, the neural interfaces, even the automated response systems, they're all still functional, but they've been subtly altered. It's like they've built a backdoor into every major system we have. How long? Based on the timestamp signatures, at least 3 years. But here's the thing. These aren't just random infiltrations. There's a pattern, a purpose. They're preparing for something. Rodriguez's jaw tightened. The Ascension ceremony. Next week, Earth is supposed to be formally inducted into the Galactic Council. The Alfarian fleet will be entering our solar system in force for the celebration. It won't be a celebration, Sarah said quietly, pulling up a final set of calculations. These modifications, they're designed to create a cascading failure in our defensive grid. One command sequence, and every weapons platform, every shield generator, every early warning system we have goes dark. The Admiral was already reaching for his secure communicator when another alert flashed across Sarah's screen. Her blood ran cold as she read the intercepted transmission. Phase 1 complete. Defense systems compromised. Awaiting arrival of the subjugation fleet. The humans suspect nothing. Rodriguez lowered his communicator slowly. How many people know about this? Just us for now. I built these detection algorithms in secret after I noticed some inconsistencies last year. I couldn't prove anything then, but something about the Alfarians' willingness to help upgrade our defenses never felt right. Can you undo their modifications? Sarah shook her head, not without alerting them. The changes are too deeply embedded. But she pulled up another screen, this one showing a project she'd been working on in her spare time. I might have something better. The Admiral leaned forward, studying the complex quantum equations and engineering schematics. What am I looking at? While they were busy compromising our official systems, I've been developing something off the grid. A quantum defense network that operates on principles they won't expect. The Alfarians think they understand human technology, but they've underestimated our capacity for innovation. How quickly can it be implemented? That's the beauty of it, Sarah said, a fierce smile crossing her face. It's already been implemented. I've had teams of trusted engineers building the hardware in secret facilities across the globe, disguised as routine infrastructure upgrades. We just need to bring it online. Rodriguez studied her for a long moment. You've been planning for this. Let's just say I learned not to trust anyone who seems too eager to help. The question is, do we have enough time to prepare a proper response? The Admiral straightened, his decision made. Begin the activation sequence. I'll contact our allies in the Mars colonies and the Lunar Command. If the Alpharians want to spring a trap, they're about to discover that humans don't cage easily. As Sarah began the complex process of activating her secret network, she couldn't help but feel a grim satisfaction. The Alpharians had spent years meticulously constructing their trap, never realizing that their target had been quietly building something far more dangerous: hope. Earth's darkest hour was approaching, but humanity wouldn't face it unprepared. In 7 days, the Alpharian fleet would arrive for what they thought would be a subjugation. Instead, they would learn a crucial lesson about underestimating human ingenuity. The silent invasion was about to become a very loud awakening. Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Dr. Marcus Wong watched as his quantum engines pulsed with an otherworldly blue light. Project Oracle had started as a theoretical exercise. Now it was humanity's best hope for survival. Power fluctuations are holding steady at 15% above predicted levels, his assistant Maya Patil announced, her hands moving across the control interface. The containment field is stable. Marcus nodded, trying to hide his exhaustion. They'd been working nonstop since Sarah Chen's warning had reached them 3 days ago. The Alpharian fleet was due to arrive in less than 96 hours, and every minute counted. Dr. Wong. A voice called from the doorway. Admiral Rodriguez strode in, accompanied by Sarah Chen herself. Please tell me you have good news. Marcus gestured to the massive engine chamber. The quantum drives are functional. We've managed to replicate the theoretical principles Sarah discovered and apply them on a scale large enough to matter. The Alpharians won't know what hit them. Sarah moved to the observation window, studying the pulsing energy field. You've solved the containment issue. Better, Marcus replied, pulling up a holographic display. We've turned it into an advantage. The quantum field doesn't just contain the energy, it amplifies it. When the Alpharians try to activate their override protocols in our defense systems, we'll be ready to channel that same energy back at them. Admiral Rodriguez frowned. In English, Doctor. Maya stepped forward. Think of it like a mirror, sir. The Alpharians designed their infiltration systems to create a massive power surge that would overload our defenses. But instead of that energy destroying our systems, the quantum engines will capture it, amplify it, and redirect it. Their own attack becomes their weakness. And the rest of the project? Sarah asked. Marcus led them to another chamber, this one filled with rows of sleek, black devices. The neural interface upgrades are ready for distribution. Once installed, they'll allow our military personnel to interface with the new quantum systems at speeds the Alpharians won't believe possible. Human reaction times, enhanced by quantum computing. How many ships have been upgraded? Rodriguez asked. 70% of the fleet, Maya answered. The remaining vessels will be completed within 48 hours. We've prioritized the primary defense platforms and the orbital stations. Sarah ran her hand along one of the devices, and they still haven't detected any of this. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. That's the beautiful part. All of this technology was developed using principles they never taught us. They've been so focused on monitoring the systems they helped us build, they never thought to look for completely independent developments. Because they think they know the limits of human technology, Rodriguez mused. Their own arrogance has become their blind spot. An alert chimed through the facility. Maya quickly pulled up a tactical display. Sir, we're detecting increased activity in the Alpharian embassy. Their quantum communications have spiked in the last hour. They're making their final preparations, Sarah said grimly. Have they detected the activation of my defense network? Marcus shook his head. No. As far as they can tell, Everything is proceeding according to their plan. The regular defense grid is showing exactly what they expect to see. Rodriguez studied the tactical display. What's the status of the lunar facilities? The quantum engines there came online 2 hours ago, Maya reported. Mars Command reports similar success with their installations. We've also managed to secretly equip 30% of our civilian ships with scaled-down versions of the technology. Not enough, Sarah muttered. We need more coverage. We'll have it, Marcus assured her. The production facilities in Antarctica and the Urals are operating at full capacity. Every hour brings more systems online. The Admiral's communicator buzzed. After reading the message, his expression darkened. The Alfarian ambassador is requesting an emergency meeting with the Earth Council. They're moving up their timeline. Sarah's hands clenched. They must suspect something. Or they're just being cautious, Maya suggested. Either way, we need to accelerate our preparations. Marcus turned to the Admiral. Sir, I recommend we begin Phase 2 immediately. If we wait any longer, we risk losing the element of surprise. Rodriguez was silent for a moment, weighing the implications. Finally, he nodded. Do it. But remember, we're not looking for revenge. This is about survival and sending a message. Humanity won't be subjugated, but we're not genocidal either. Understood, sir, Marcus replied. He turned to his team. Maya, begin the power-up sequence for all completed installations. Sarah, we'll need your encryption protocols to coordinate the network. Let's show the Alfarians what happens when they underestimate human determination. As the facility burst into renewed activity, Marcus caught Sarah's eye. You know, when you first approached me with your suspicions 2 years ago, I thought you were paranoid. She offered a grim smile. Sometimes paranoia is just pattern recognition ahead of schedule. Besides, humanity has a long history of turning adversity into advantage. The Alfarians studied our past, but they failed to understand its lessons. And what lesson is that? Maya asked, her hands flying over the control interface. Sarah's eyes hardened as she watched the quantum engines pulse with increasing power. That humans are at their most dangerous when backed into a corner. In trying to cage us, they've only guaranteed their own defeat. The heart of Project Oracle continued to beat beneath the desert sands, its power growing with each passing moment. In less than 4 days, it would help humanity rewrite the rules of galactic politics, assuming they all survived what was coming. The Galactic Council's massive ship emerged from hyperspace like a crystalline cathedral, its iridescent surface refracting sunlight across Earth's orbit. Behind it, hundreds of Alfarian vessels blinked into existence, their formation too precise to be anything but military. In the underground command center of Project Oracle, Admiral Rodriguez watched the tactical display with growing concern. That's 3 times the number of ships they claimed would be attending the ceremony. Sarah Chen's fingers danced across her console, analyzing the incoming data. Energy readings are off the charts. Those aren't diplomatic vessels. They're warships disguised with ceremonial plating. The massive holographic display showed more ships arriving every minute. The Alfarian fleet was positioning itself in a complex geometric pattern around Earth, each vessel taking up precise coordinates that had been calculated long in advance. They're creating a containment grid, Marcus Wong announced, his voice tight. Once it's complete, they'll be able to generate a quantum barrier that could isolate Earth from the rest of space. Maya Patel's voice cut through the tension. Incoming transmission from the Council ship. They're demanding immediate audience with Earth's leadership. Rodriguez straightened his uniform. Put them through to the main screen. Let's hear what excuse they've prepared. The holographic display shifted, revealing the towering figure of High Counselor Vexthor. The Alfarian's crystalline features caught the light, creating an effect that had once seemed beautiful, but now felt predatory. Representatives of Earth. Vexthor's translated voice filled the chamber. The time has come for your world to receive its rightful place in the galactic community. With an invasion fleet, Rodriguez challenged. Your ships are in violation of our treaty agreements. The High Counselor's features shifted in what might have been amusement. "Admiral, surely you understand that proper integration requires oversight. Your species has shown remarkable potential, but also concerning tendencies. The Council has decided that a period of supervised development is necessary." Sarah stepped forward. "You mean containment. We've discovered your modifications to our defense systems." "Ah, Dr. Chen." Vexthor's tone grew condescending. Always so perceptive. "Yes, we have prepared your world for peaceful integration. Resistance would be unfortunate and futile. The process has already begun." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the facility. Maya's hands flew across her console. "They're activating their override protocols. The compromised systems are beginning to fail." But Sarah was smiling. "Are they?" On the tactical display, the Alfarian fleet's containment grid was powering up, creating a web of quantum energy that would trap Earth inside. But something was wrong. The energy wasn't flowing according to their calculations. Vexthor's crystalline features shifted in confusion. "What have you done?" "We learned from you," Marcus replied, "activating Project Oracle's primary systems. While you were busy studying our official technology, we were developing something new, something you never thought to look for." Across Earth, hidden quantum engines hummed to life. The energy the Alfarians had intended to use for containment was being captured, amplified, and redirected. Their own power was turning against them. "Impossible," Vexthor declared. "Your species lacks the theoretical understanding for such technology." "That's your fundamental mistake," Sarah said. "You studied our history, our conflicts, our technological progress, but you missed something essential about human nature. We don't develop in straight lines. We innovate, we adapt, and we absolutely refuse to be caged." The quantum grid the Alfarians had created was now pulsing with unexpected energy. Their ship's systems began to fluctuate as the amplified power overwhelmed their carefully designed protocols. "This is your final warning," Rodriguez announced. "Withdraw your fleet and acknowledge Earth's sovereignty, or we will be forced to demonstrate exactly how much you've underestimated us." Vexthor's image flickered as his ship's systems struggled against the quantum feedback. "You cannot hope to stand against the combined might of the Galactic Council. We have guided the development of 1,000 worlds. Your resistance will only bring destruction." "Actually," Marcus interjected, "we've been analyzing your ship designs. Your quantum barrier technology has a fundamental flaw, one we discovered 2 years ago. Would you like to see what happens when that flaw is exploited?" Maya's console lit up with new alerts. "Sir, the lunar installations are online. Mars Defense Command reports ready. All quantum engines are synchronized." Rodriguez met Vexthor's gaze. "The choice is yours, Counselor. But know this, humanity will not submit. Not today, not ever." The High Counselor's expression hardened. "Then you leave us no choice. The Council's decree will be enforced. For the greater good of the galaxy, Earth must be contained." Sarah looked at Rodriguez, who nodded grimly. "Very well," she said, entering the final command sequence. "Let's show them what happens when they try to cage humanity." As Project Oracle's full power was unleashed, the quantum energy web surrounding Earth began to transform. The Alfarians were about to learn that their carefully laid trap had become something else entirely, a demonstration of humanity's refusal to be bound by anyone's limitations but their own. The real battle for Earth's future was about to begin. Project Oracle's quantum engines reached full power, their energy cascading through the hidden network that spanned the solar system. On screens throughout Earth's command center, the Alfarian containment grid blazed with unexpected patterns of light. "Quantum resonance at maximum," Maya announced, her voice steady despite the tension. "All systems synchronized. Ready on your command." Admiral Rodriguez looked at Sarah Chen, who gave a slight nod. "Execute Protocol Phoenix." The effect was immediate and devastating. The amplified energy surge struck the Alfarian fleet's quantum barriers, not as a brutal hammer blow, but as a precise scalpel finding the exact frequency to shatter their defenses. By the eternal stars, Vex Thor's voice wavered as his mighty flagship shields fluctuated. What have you done? We've turned your own containment grid against you, Marcus explained, monitoring the power flows. Every attempt you make to trap us only makes our counter-response stronger. Elegant, isn't it? Across the tactical display, Alfarian ships began losing power as their quantum systems failed. The magnificent council vessel listed to one side, its crystalline surface dulling as emergency systems engage. But the Alfarians weren't finished. From within their fleet, new ships emerged, darker, more angular vessels that had been hidden behind the ceremonial facades. War frigates, Rodriguez identified. Their real military might. Sarah was already adapting the quantum network. They're switching to conventional weapons. Maya, initiate Phase 2. Throughout the solar system, hidden platforms activated. The secret shipyards of Mars and the asteroid belt revealed their contents. Humanity's true fleet. Sleek vessels of Earth manufacture, built with principles that went beyond anything the Alfarians had taught them. This is Commander Helen Drake of the Earth Defense Force. A new voice cut through the chaos. All ships, execute emergence protocols. The human fleet rose to meet the Alfarian war frigates. But these weren't the clumsy vessels the aliens had expected. These ships moved with impossible grace, their quantum-enhanced crews operating at speeds that seemed to defy natural law. How? Vex Thor demanded. These ships, this technology, it's beyond your development level. You assumed we could only advance along the paths you showed us, Sarah replied. You never considered that we might find our own way. The battle unfolded across the solar system. Alfarian weapons, designed to overwhelm conventional defenses, found themselves striking at shadows as human ships phased in and out of normal space, using their own quantum drive innovations. Their fleet is attempting to regroup, Maya reported. They're trying to establish a new containment pattern. Marcus smiled grimly. Let them try. Every energy pattern they generate just gives us more power to work with. The quantum engines are now operating at 120% of projected capacity. Earth's defensive platforms, now freed from Alfarian control, added their power to the fight. But they weren't firing destruction. Instead, they were projecting quantum fields that turned the aliens' own energy weapons back upon them. Status of civilian populations, Rodriguez demanded. Safe, Sarah confirmed. The quantum shield network is holding. Our cities are protected. On the main screen, Vex Thor's image flickered as his flagship's systems continued to fail. This is impossible. We studied your species for decades. We knew your capabilities. No, Rodriguez corrected. You knew what we showed you. Humanity has a long history of keeping secrets when we need to. And we've learned from every empire that tried to subjugate us in our past. The battle reached its crescendo as the human fleet executed a synchronized quantum jump, appearing simultaneously at critical points throughout the Alfarian formation. The aliens found their carefully planned military strategy falling apart as they faced an enemy that refused to fight according to their rules. Their command and control network is collapsing, Maya announced. The war frigates are losing coordination. Sarah's hands flew across her console. Quantum resonance peaks detected in their fleet. Their systems are beginning to cascade. Now, Admiral, Marcus urged, while their network is vulnerable. Rodriguez stepped forward. This is your final warning, Counselor. Surrender your fleet and withdraw from Earth space, or we will be forced to demonstrate the full extent of our capabilities. The command center fell silent as they waited for Vex Thor's response. The Alfarians' crystalline features had lost their arrogant shine, replaced by something that looked remarkably like fear. You were supposed to be primitive, he said quietly. Manageable. How did we miscalculate so badly? Because you made the same mistake others have made throughout our history, Sarah answered. You mistook our willingness to learn for submission, our curiosity for dependency. You thought you were creating a cage, but you were really giving us tools to forge something new. Around Earth, the quantum energy web pulsed with power, ready to deliver a final devastating surge that would disable the entire Alfarian fleet. Humanity stood on the brink of not just victory, but emergence as something the galaxy had never expected. A power that had developed in secret, waiting for the right moment to reveal its true strength. The future of Earth, and humanity's place in the galaxy, hung in the balance of Vexthor's next words. For a long moment, the silence in Earth's command center was broken only by the quiet hum of quantum engines and the steady pulse of monitoring systems. High Counselor Vexthor's image flickered on the main display, his crystalline features reflecting the chaos of his disabled flagship. The Galactic Council. He began, then stopped, seeming to struggle with the words. The Council has never faced a situation like this. Then perhaps it's time for the Council to learn a new way. Sarah Chen suggested, her voice firm but not unkind. One that doesn't involve subjugation. Around Earth, the remnants of the Alfarian fleet hung motionless, their mighty warships reduced to floating hulks by humanity's quantum countermeasures. The human fleet maintained their positions, their advanced drives humming with barely contained power. Your terms, Vexthor finally asked. Admiral Rodriguez stepped forward. Immediate withdrawal of all Alfarian forces from the Sol system, recognition of Earth's full sovereignty and independence, and a complete review of the Council's integration protocols for all species. You would dare dictate terms to the Council? Marcus Wong checked his readings. Your fleet's quantum cores are still destabilizing. In about 10 minutes, you'll lose life support. We can prevent that, but our terms are non-negotiable. Maya's console lit up with new data. Sir, we're detecting quantum communications between the Alfarian ships. They're requesting permission to stand down. Vexthor's image stabilized as emergency power rerouted to his communications. You understand that accepting these terms would fundamentally change the structure of galactic society. Thousands of years of carefully managed progress, undone in a day. Progress shouldn't need to be managed, Sarah countered. Real growth comes from freedom to develop, to innovate, to find new paths forward. That's what humanity has always done best. The High Counselor was silent for a long moment, his alien features unreadable. Finally, he spoke. The Council acknowledges. We may have miscalculated, not just about humanity's capabilities, but about our approach to emerging civilizations. Then let this be a moment of learning, Rodriguez suggested. For all of us. Throughout the solar system, human quantum engines began powering down from combat status. The network Sarah had designed pulsed once more, this time sending carefully calibrated energy waves that stabilized the failing Alfarian ships. We're not interested in destruction, Sarah explained. We've seen enough of that in our own history. What we want is partnership, real partnership, not subjugation disguised as guidance. Maya's console chimed. Receiving transmission from Mars Command. The lunar bases confirm all hostile action has ceased. The Alfarian fleet is beginning emergency repairs. Vexthor's posture changed, becoming less rigid, more contemplative. Perhaps there is wisdom in this. Your species has demonstrated not just technological advancement, but restraint. You could have destroyed our fleet. That was never our goal, Marcus said. We just needed to prove that humanity won't be caged. Ever. A lesson well taught, the High Counselor acknowledged. I will convey your terms to the full Council. But know this, what happened here today will reshape galactic politics for centuries to come. Rodriguez smiled slightly. That was rather the point. As the tension in the command center began to ease, Sarah moved to the main tactical display. The quantum network she had helped design was already adapting, shifting from weapons platform to communications array. We're receiving requests for communication from other Council member species, she announced. It seems we're not the only ones who had concerns about the Council's methods. A new era of galactic diplomacy, Maya mused. One based on mutual respect rather than control. The Admiral turned to his team. Begin recovery operations. Help the Alfarian ships with repairs. Show them what real cooperation looks like. And prepare a delegation for emergency talks with the Council. We have a lot of work ahead of us. As the command center burst into renewed activity, Marcus approached Sarah. You know, when you first discovered their infiltration of our systems, I don't think anyone imagined it would end like this. She shook her head. Not an ending. A beginning. Humanity's real journey into the galaxy starts now, not as subjects, but as equals, maybe even as teachers. Above them, the quantum energy web that had protected Earth began to disperse, its purpose served. But the network remained, a testament to human ingenuity, and a reminder to the galaxy that some species were simply too determined, too innovative, and too freedom-loving to ever be contained. The dawn of a new age had arrived, and humanity was ready to help shape it, on their own terms, with their own unique vision of what the future could be. In the depths of space, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, witnessing the birth of something unprecedented. A galactic civilization that might finally learn to grow not through control, but through the unleashing of potential in all its forms.